Krishna tells Arjuna that it is his duty, since he's a warrior, to go about and fight. I always found it that somehow this is promoting the caste system in India, and I wanted to know your opinion on that. Since you're from this caste, you must do this, and I don't know, I mean, would you agree with that? That they've used this as a way to promote the caste system?
See, today, in our understanding, in our experience, caste system has become a means of exploitation and a way of discrimination. But when they created it, it was not a means of discrimination. It was a way of systematizing and organizing the society so that different people have different duties to fulfill, so that the society is complete and everybody is doing what is needed. So, a Kshatriya's duty is to protect the other people because the other people don't bear arms. And other people needed protection. So if a Kshatriya refuses to fight, it is like a farmer refusing to sow the seed. It is like a Vaishya refusing to do business. It's like a Brahmana refusing to teach. A Kshatriya refusing to fight is just like that. It is just like tools down. Whatever the nature of your activity, everybody tools down, then what will happen to the society? So it's in that context that Krishna is talking. You are a Kshatriya, you have come to fight. Now you're backing out because of some emotions that you have. Arjuna has not reached that point within himself where he has forsaken violence. Not at all, he's nowhere there. He's got no problems with violence. You have issues with violence because of your upbringings and because today violence, the instruments of violence have turned so massive. We are talking so much about peace. If we were just fighting with swords, we need not have talked so much about peace in the world. But today, because instruments of violence and destruction are so enormous, we have to constantly talk about peace because one fool can destroy everything. So, Krishna talked plenty of peace. He strived all his life to avoid this big war, but it has come there. The whole situation has just slid into that, so it has just slid into that rut that he tried to avoid, but they anyway brought it there. Now you brought it here. Now backing out is no use. And even if you back out, they won't let you go anywhere, they'll follow you and slay you. Arjuna has a fool's dream that if he can go and live in the forest peacefully, they'll burn the forest. They won't let him live now that it's come to this point. So Arjuna has not grasped the reality the way it is. He's thinking, now having come here, organized this war, having brought everybody to the battlefield, he can just back up and walk away. You cannot do that. Before you came to that, when you went to the forest for 12 years, at that time only if you said, oh, I love the forest, I don't want to go back to Hastinapur, that was different. Now not just you brought hundreds of other kings to the battlefield, everybody's there, now you want to back out because you have some emotions about somebody out there. This will definitely make him an object of ridicule in everybody's eyes. And anyway, he won't live to face the ridicule. They will one way or the other kill him. Because they've already tried any number of ways to kill him, fair and unfair, every way they have tried. So now if he backs out, they won't let him get away. It'll be a sure victory for them. Not only him, they will slaughter everybody else leaderless. They will slaughter the whole army leaderless if Arjuna backs out. So it's in that sense he's saying, and being a Kshatriya is not necessarily a caste, it's more a class. It's an administrative and military class of people, and they had to fulfill their duty for maintaining the balance of the society. So Krishna is just saying that, if you don't take action now, what will happen because of this inaction is not going to be good at all. Because he knows all the people who are there very, very well, too well. He has handled these people in a masterly way. In spite of that, somehow the situation dragged itself into war. How masterly he handled means, just as an example, let me put something across to you. Emperor Jarasandha is a brave warrior. He's a very brilliant man. For over 45 years, he has ruled his country and he's expanded it many-fold by winning many battles. And his ambition has not been quenched. He wants to ensure that his children and grandchildren continue to expand the nation that he has built, and he is ruthless about it. So with this ambition, he gave his two daughters to Kamsa because he saw Kamsa as a powerful ally and Yadavas were good fighting men. So he thought if he makes the alliance there, the northern part of the country will come into… northern part of the… what was known as Bharatavarsha would come into his control. He is not an Aryan king, and he doesn't like all this Aryan chivalry and dharma and all this nonsense. He just wants to do it. So Krishna frustrated him on that by killing Kamsa. His whole strategy collapsed there. Then he worked up. In the meantime, he fought a few battles and acquired a few other small kingdoms. Then he thought he will come and conquer Mathura and rule that. But then Krishna made an exodus with all the people. Out of his fury, he just burned the empty town. No people, but he just set fire to the whole city and burnt it down. So there he was frustrated. Then he wanted his friend Shishupala to marry Rukmini so that Vidarbha and Rukmini's brother, a very ambitious young man with a great force behind him, will become his ally. He came there a long distance. He is somewhere in the region of Bihar. He came a long distance to Gujarat just for the wedding, the Swayamvara, to ensure that nothing goes wrong. But there, right under his nose, Krishna eloped with Rukmini. And when he tried to trap Krishna on the Gomantak, he defeated him and disgraced him by granting him his life. For a warrior, there's nothing worse. For an Arya warrior, it is a very bad thing that this cowherd let him live. He would have preferred to die. And now he came with a strategy to get Draupadi. The Swayamvara is there, he wants his grandson to marry Draupadi. Because if he gets Draupadi into the family, the Drupada, a great king with a very big army, joins him, and in a different region of Bharatavarsha, that he will get total control over a completely different region. So this is the situation. All the kings who got the invitation have come, and some have come without invitation, with other intentions. So they have set up… Drupada has set up a very difficult archery test that we have been talking about, the fish's eye and the reflection. There are only few known men among the Kshatriya clan who can pass a test like this. These are Dronacharya, Duryodhana, Arjuna, Jarasandha himself, and Kripacharya, maybe. But Drona and Kripacharya are old and Brahmins, they won't go for it. Ashwatthama is another possibility, not sure. Karna, but he has no royal parentage, so he cannot compete. Caste system. So Jarasandha has come and camped near where the Swayamvara is. He knows his grandson cannot win the archery test, but he can. So this is the situation. Krishna saw the scene. His intention is that Draupadi should not marry Duryodhana. Draupadi also does not want to marry Duryodhana, but if he wins the test, she will be helpless, she has to marry him. And another thing, Dronacharya, who is working with Duryodhana, who works for Duryodhana, does not want Draupadi to become the crown princess or the queen in future. And he has promised Bhanumati, Duryodhana's first wife, whatever happens, I will see that Draupadi does not become the queen, you will be the queen. So it's all enmeshed in many things. So in this time, in the middle of the night, Jarasandha being an emperor, his camp is very tightly guarded, but in the middle of the night, two men just walked into the camp. And they were little hooded, so the guard stopped them. So one of the men said, "We want to see the emperor." The guard said, "Are you out of your head? In the middle of the night, around 1 o'clock in the morning really, you want to see the emperor? There's no such thing, go away." And this person said, "If you don't let me see your emperor, you will regret, you will not live, and your emperor will regret for the rest of his life. What will happen?" Then the guard could not make up his mind. He said, "Don't… you are talking two brave things, go away, come in the morning." Then this person asked, "Who is the prince who is in charge of the security here? At least wake him up." He said, "No, in the middle of the night we cannot wake him up." Then this person said, "If he does not wake up today, he will not wake up tomorrow also. A situation like that will happen, just wake him up." So they woke up one of Jarasandha's grandsons who was in charge of the security. He came and he asked, "Who are you?" So he took off his scarf that he was tying around his face and he said, "I am Krishna Vasudeva." He was just shocked because Krishna is their sworn enemy. They have pursued him all over the country and not been able to get him. Here in the middle of the night, just with one more person, he's walked into their camp. They can kill him at will right now. So he couldn't believe his eyes, but then he looked at his diadem and the peacock feather. Then he thought, "Oh, it is that troublesome cowherd, it is him." And he looked at the blue. Oh, it's definitely him. He asked, "What do you want?" He said, "I want to speak to Jarasandha." He said, "I can't wake up the emperor." Then Krishna said, "If you don't wake him up now, if I don't see him now, just give him a message that I came here to save his life. If he doesn't see him now, I cannot do anything about it. If you still want to do it, I will go back, but it's up to you." So the boy got little disturbed, he said, wait. So he went and woke up Jarasandha in the middle of the night. He's a 75-year-old man, still very fit and strong, he's a fighting man. Then they told him, Krishna has come to see you. Jarasandha could not believe his ears. What? He's come to see me in the middle of the night in my camp? How dare! Immediately his thought is, shall we finish him now? Then the boy conveyed what Krishna had said. Then one thing he knew about Krishna was, he remembered all those events where he outsmarted him at every point. So he thought, definitely he is not fool enough to just come here and be killed. He must be having something else. He has no royal parentage, he's a coward, but you definitely cannot say he is a fool. At every point, in every event, he has outsmarted Jarasandha. So he said, okay. So Krishna came in and Jarasandha asked, you have walked in like how a lamb walks into a tiger's den, out of its own cockiness, but such a lamb will never see the next day. So Krishna said, do I look like such a lamb? From your past experience, he reminded him of all those events where he was disgraced by Krishna. From all these, one by one, all these events he recounted and said, from all these events, do you think I am such a lamb? Then Jarasandha winced with pain. Those events have always been such a painful thing for him. When every one of them Krishna recounted in the same order as it happened, and he asked him, do you think I'm such a lamb? Jarasandha said, okay, spill your beans, what is the deal? So Krishna explained, see, you have come to the Swayamvara. It is Draupadi Swayamvara. Everybody knows, marrying Draupadi is like marrying Drupada. Marrying Drupada means you're marrying a huge army. That's why all the kings are here. Even if the girl, the princess, was a deformed woman, still all these princes would be here because marrying Draupadi means marrying Drupada, which is a very massive army. And above all, Drupada is hugely respected as a righteous man, which adds to your prestige and your power and everything. So, your intentions of coming here is very, very clear to me. But please understand this, the archery test that Drupada is setting, definitely your grandson cannot win. I know the boy, he cannot win. You may win. Jarasandha said, definitely, I will win. So Krishna said, just imagine, you, a 75-year-old man with many sons and many more grandsons, you going there for this 18-year-old girl into the competition, you will become an object of ridicule. And just by chance, if you lose the competition, you are capable, all right, but still you may lose. If you lose the competition, your emperorhood will be washed out as far as people are concerned. No king will like to be associated with you, that you tried for a 18-year-old girl at the age of 75 and you lost the competition and you will become a ridicule. So I'm sure you are intelligent enough not to take that step. So Jarasandha is sharp in his mind, he understood the whole thing. He also knew that his grandson cannot win such a competition. But definitely you have not come here to participate in the competition, you have come to abduct the girl. If you want to abduct the girl, there are only two places in which you can abduct the girl. One place is when the girl comes with the other princesses to the temple. Another place is when she's just entering the wedding hall, the geography of the place is like this, that is a place you can abduct. These are the only two places where you can abduct Draupadi. He's telling him this military strategy. And both these places, I have the best of my men placed. So, if your chariot deviates from the route it should take even by a few feet, immediately your head will be on the ground. So the choice is yours now. Either you go into the competition, make a fool of yourself, and in spite of that, even if you win the competition, if another young man wins the competition, you will have to fight him. So still you may get killed, because whoever is capable of winning that competition may also be capable of killing you. If Duryodhana wins the competition, he will kill you effortlessly. He's as skilled as you are, but he's young and you're old. He will kill you. So, whichever way, your death seems to be imminent. If you try to put any of your plans into action, you will be dead. So the best thing for you would be, take the best gifts that you can offer to Drupada and graciously withdraw. Jarasandha roared, "Who are you to tell me what I should do? I am the emperor of Magadha. You are just a cowherd." So Krishna said, "It doesn't matter who I am and who you are. Right now, I want you to remember, though you think you're a great emperor and you are one, I want you to remember, my power over this country and this culture is far more than yours. And my ability to fight and my ability to garner people is far more than yours, which you know from your experience. From all this history that you have behind you, you know very well that I can do things better than you. It's up to you. But tomorrow morning, if your chariot deviates even a few feet away from the route it is supposed to take, your head will be on the ground. The choice is yours." And he walked away, without giving Jarasandha the opportunity to speak. Anybody turning back on Jarasandha would be a dead man. So this also came up in the conversation. Jarasandha asked, "What if I just kill you right now?" So Krishna said, the Yadava Athiritis, that means they are people who have attained to a certain level of warriorship. 1,000 of them, I have placed them in strategic places. And not only that, according to the rules of Aryavarta, among the kings who have come to a Swayamvara festival or function, if any of them get killed by the other, all the kings will get together and ensure that they put that man to death, because he has broken the fundamental rule out of jealousy or whatever. That when you come to Swayamvara, it's the girl's choice to choose. Some competition is there, but finally it is the girl's choice to choose. But if somebody kills any of the contestants, that means it's a sure death for you. All the princes, all the kings of Aryavarta will get together and see that your Magadha is burnt. There is no question about that. Jarasandha knew that is also a reality. So in great fury he was, but still he was a sensible, intelligent man. He considered all the possibilities. Next day morning, very graciously he went with big presents, gave it to Drupada, and he said, "I need to go," and he withdrew and left. So, this is the kind of man Krishna is. He did everything possible, but now it's come to battle in spite of that. Going back now is no sense. It's a horrible battle where almost everybody is going to be killed. But if you go back also, they will be killed. That's all he's putting across.
Text 5 and 6. Text 5, he says, at the time of death, whoever relinquishes his body, remembering me alone, without doubt attains me. And text 6, O son of Kunti, whatever state of being one remembers at the time of death, he will attain that state, being absorbed in its thought. Is it really that simple, Sadhguru? I mean, the thought, your last dying thought, you will be absorbed into it.
At the time of death, whoever relinquishes his body, remembering me and without doubt attains me. Remembering me alone, without doubt attains me. O son of Kunti, whatever state of being one remembers at the time of death, he will attain that state, being absorbed in its thought. Therefore remember me at all times and do your duty. It is do your dharma, but the English word has become duty. With your mind and intellect fixed on me, you shall come to me without doubt. Is it that simple? Yes, it's that simple. But see, just look at your life and see. There's a very beautiful story like this. You know Narada, sage Narada is always, wherever he is going, he's only saying Narayana, Narayana. Can somebody enact this? Do you have a tampura? You have a tampura? Huh? It doesn't matter, he has only one string but you can use four strings. So he is only going Narayana, Narayana. Then one day in his travels, the sage Narada travels freely, he has passport for all the three worlds, he travels everywhere. So one day, he met a farmer who was in a great state of ecstasy and bliss. Narada was eager to find out what is the secrecy of his bliss. So, when he went and spoke to the farmer, he was plowing his land. So Narada went there, but the farmer did not even notice him, he was just so engrossed in plowing his land. Then noontime, he broke from his work and came to eat under the tree, whatever little food he had in his… the container. So he opened it and just said Narayana, Narayana, Narayana 3 times and he started eating. Then Narada came, he wanted to share the meal with him, but because of the caste system that Julia is talking about, Narada won't eat with this man. So Narada inquired, what is the source of your bliss? So the farmer said, every day Narayana appears in his true form to me. That is the source of my bliss. Narada got uppity. So he asked him, what is the sadhana that you do? He said, I don't know anything, I'm an ignorant man, illiterate I am. It is just that when I wake up in the morning, I say Narayana 3 times. When I start my work, I say Narayana 3 times. When I close it, I say 3 times. When I eat, I say 3 times. When I have to go to bed, I say 3 times. This is all I know. Then Narada calculated, in 24 hours, how many times is he saying Narayana? Then he saw that it ran into millions. Any number of times Narada is saying Narayana, Narayana, but if he wants to see Narayana, he has to go all the way to Vaikuntha, a long journey. But for this farmer who just says Narayana 3 times, a few times before eating and before plowing and whatever, Narayana is coming right here. He thought, this is not fair. Some computing mistake somewhere. I'm sorry. It's like some kind of a mistake is happening. I say Narayana so many times and Narayana does not appear for me. This guy just says a few times and he's getting all this. So, immediately he made his journey to Vaikuntha. And he asked Vishnu, what is this nonsense? I'm all the time chanting only Narayana. I barely say anything else. I'm only saying your name all the time. You don't appear for me, I have to come and see you. But for this farmer, it seems you appear for him every day and he is living in ecstasy. So Vishnu looked at Narada and told Lakshmi to get a vessel full of oil, filled to the brim. And he told Narada, Narada, by the way, there is something to be done. You take this vessel and go to Bhuloka and come back. Leave this vessel of oil there and come. So it's an errand. Okay, we'll answer the question later. This errand has to be done, you go. So Narada took this vessel, went, left it in Bhuloka and came back. Okay, you did not answer my question. So Vishnu asked, when you were carrying this vessel full of oil, how many times did you utter Narayana? Narada said, how could I say Narayana at that time? The oil was just about spilling and you said not a drop should spill. I was just going with the vessel, I kept it, but while coming I have said many Narayanas. So Vishnu said, that is the whole thing. That farmer, his life is like carrying a vessel full of oil which may spill any moment. He has to earn his food, he has to do so many things. In spite of that, wherever he can, he's saying Narayana. Now when you carried the oil in this vessel, not once you uttered. You have nothing to do, ting, ting, Narayana, ting, ting, Narayana, easy. So when moment of death comes, to be aware, to say what you want to say, it takes something else. Most people die in unawareness. They've always, in this country, if a man is dying, something they will start Ram Nam Satyahaya, Om Namah Shivaya, whatever they know. Because somehow they want him to utter a God's name or become aware somehow at the last moment. If you can maintain, you don't even have to say anything. If you can maintain your awareness when you are shifting from one dimension of life to another, from physical to beyond, at that moment of shifting, if you maintain awareness, that's mukti. But to come to that moment of awareness, you must practice a lifetime of awareness, otherwise it'll not happen. Or you must be in the presence of someone who can make that happen for you. So in that context he's saying, at that moment, if you can think of me, I will be there and ensure that you pass. Just some time ago when they brought up this action issue, when I said, when it comes to inner realities, we are 100% sure about what we can do to a person. But when it comes to external realities, subject to too many things. So he's talking about an inner reality. What is this? Yoga of absolute whatever. Okay, yoga of attaining the absolute. When it comes to attaining the absolute, if you do the right things, it's 100% sure because the only ingredient is you, nothing else but you. When it comes to the outer realities, even the bassaru doesn't cooperate. Bassaru. Even a simple curry doesn't cooperate, you know. You may be anything, but simple curry will defeat you. Yes. So when it comes to inner realities, we can say it with absolute certainty. You do this, I will take care of it. External realities, he never said such a thing, did he anywhere? He will not say. If he has said it, if such a thing is there in the Gita, it's somebody else's work. It cannot be Krishna's words. That's 100% sure, because he knows life. So, that moment of transition from physical to beyond, if one can maintain their awareness, they can attain. This is the reason why I think many times I have said, for most people, moment of realization and moment of leaving the body are same, because that level of awareness and leaving the body is always same. If the awareness comes when you're leaving the body, anyway you leave it. But what I'm saying is, even if it is not time for to leave your body, still if the awareness comes to that level, if your awareness raises to such a peak, where clearly what is you and what is your body is separated, you may not have the necessary capability to hang on to the body. Not that you may not, most probably you will not, unless you're in certain situations where it's possible to hold.
Sadhguru,
One more aspect, 1 second, we'll come to that. About having a certain thought, and that becomes the quality of your future births, that is also there, right? Yes, that is definitely so. This is the reason when there is a dying man in the house, we must create a certain atmosphere of peacefulness and well-being for him. People always, when the time to die came, they always went away from their family in this culture, because being among the family at the moment of death is not at all a good thing to do. It's a very ignorant way of living and dying. I know all of you will hate me for this. When you want to die, you would like your family to hang around and comfort you and tell you, I love you, don't worry. When you go there, when I come, I'll join you. They won't follow you immediately. They won't follow you. They will strive to live in every possible way, but they're telling you, you don't worry. I'll be right there for you when I come. This is all just emotional bullshit. You have no understanding of the realities of life. Because your business with the people whom you think you love is only on the level of the physical, mental and emotional. All these things, they're dropping and going. So you have no business, your father, your husband, your wife, your grandfather, somebody left their body. See. But when the insect sits on you, are you saying Sadhguru, Sadhguru? No. See. How will you say it when the moment of death comes? Just a harmless insect, it doesn't bite you, you can eat him, it tastes good actually. Do you know people eat this? Huh? Oh, he has come to eat the insects. It's very much in your knowledge that a frog doesn't bite. But just a frog comes, just see. When death comes, can you imagine? Not a small event, isn't it? Frog is a small event, but still that can disturb you so much. But death, oh, is it that simple? Yes, it's that simple. But to be aware at the moment of death is another thing, is a totally another thing. So, why people try to create situations around people when they die is because the last moment of their death, whatever is the dominant factor on their mind, an emotion, that will definitely become the quality of their life in future. Definitely, definitely. That's the reason why in this culture we always said you should not die among your family. People who want to die, go to the forest and die. Vanaprastha, do you know this? Even here, Dhritarashtra and Gandhari and Kunti walk away after the Kurukshetra war with just Sanjaya as an assistant. They go up into the forest with great difficulty, they've all become old. And they start living in one place, waiting to die. They could have lived in the palace and died with all their 100 children or whatever, at least the 5 children, their children, grandchildren, among all of them they could have died. But they went into the forest because that much awareness was there. Though he was blind and stupid in many ways, that much awareness was there, which is missing today. So he, the emperor, his queen Gandhari and Kunti, all her life she has suffered all kinds of hardships, lived in the forest and everything. Now only her children have become emperors ruling a great nation. Now she can enjoy the palace, but she also decides to go and die in the forest. So they go into the forest and they go up a very steep hill, and when they are in a certain place, there is a forest fire and they are old. They cannot run and struggle and fight this forest fire, there's no such thing. So they just decide that they'll offer themselves to the fire. So Dhritarashtra tells Sanjaya, you have served me very well till now, but you're still a young man, you go away. 3 of us, we will give ourselves to the fire. But Sanjaya refuses, I will not leave you at this point. So he also stays. All the 4 of them will get burnt in the forest fire. So this wisdom is about not dying among emotional situations. Because if you die among the family, you will die with a huge sense of attachment, which will not bring well-being for future. So they always wanted to die alone. You know, in India, if people want to die, they go to Kashi and die. You know, still people go. People go to Kashi to die because it's a holy place. They want to die under the grace of Shiva. They don't want to die with their sons and daughters and wives and others sticking around and throwing their emotions on them. They want to die in a different space altogether. When you want to die, you must come here. Okay, really, I'm telling you. If you come when you want to live also, it's good. But when you want to die, you must come. We will set up something where you can die well. And if you're sufficiently old, I don't think it should be a problem for us, lot of people coming and dying here. Death is not a bad thing. It's something that has to happen. If you lived your life well, death is not at all a bad thing. You never lived your life. When you were alive, you died every moment, hesitation, fear, nonsense, hatred, anger, you never lived. When death comes, you want to live. That's no good. I keep telling people, after all, what is death? You're just shedding the body. What is body? You took a loan from the Mother Earth. If you take some loan from somebody, let's say you took 10 million loan from the bank, and in whatever number of years, let's say in the next 50 years, you made this 10 million into 10 billion. Now if your banker comes to reclaim the loan, you will pay him joyously, with interest. You will treat him, give him gifts and send him with the loan, isn't it so? But suppose you squandered this 10 million and you lost everything. If the banker comes, terror arises within you. You will hide. You will say, I'm not here. So many tricks you will play. So that's all it is. Earth gave you this loan. If you have made this into your blessed life, you really put it into absolute use and you lived in great sweetness within yourself. Now, when the Mother Earth says, it's time, son, you pay back the loan, joyfully you pay it and go. No interest also. Happily you pay the loan back. One who joyfully pays the loan back, for him it's over. For him it is definitely over. Because when you're happy, it is very easy to be aware. Have you noticed this? Yes? Why from day one we are talking about happiness, happiness, happiness is not because we have some philosophy of be happy. What's that? Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy philosophy. It is because when you're joyful, being aware comes naturally to you. When you're aware, you're on the path of liberation. So definitely the last moment's quality will become a major quality of your future lives, that if you wish to have future lives. If you're seeking the ultimate, then there is no future life. You want dissolution into the ultimate, you want to become one with… People have been telling me, Sadhguru, don't go on using this negative terminology, it scares. We are going to dissolve and become nothing. No, you will not become nothing, you will become everything. Yes. When you attain mukti, you will become everything. See, now we are Krishna, we are not Shiva, you know. When we were Shiva, we were talking about nothingness. Now we are Krishna, we are willing to be pleasant with you. You will become everything, you will become God. Is that better?